fiction writers are rather predatory kind of thing. So they see something in nature or new scientists which might actually suggest that something science fiction might just be possible. Zoom! Away we go. And I've just written a book called I know. The next word. I've sent it off, and I have no idea about multiple worlds universe. And I wrote, I think, 2 or 3 or probably 4 short stories based in that universe. It was called the Farmmakers. What was the Farmmakers? Farmmakers. We've been changing it so much. And that's it, that's fine. If Colour of Magic had not been very successful, I would probably have written it. Because Colour of Magic was very successful. I thought, oh, this fantasy is really good stuff for me. I'd already done some SF, but this. So I went down from Steve's point of view to the dark side.
And this is 25 years ago, wasn't it?
Something like that. Because we don't like either or don't like that sort of thing done. One day, a few years ago, I opened up a cupboard and there it was. And I thought, there was something in this. Something could be made of this. I need the help of someone who could say the term quantum without actually laughing. And Steve and I have known each other for many, many years, meeting at conventions and meeting at the home of other people and all kinds of things. So he's both, old and have a drink and all that sort of thing. And I what's this? Why did Steve?
No, I wanted to ask you, because obviously you've got a hard sci-fi background. Yeah. And yet now you've entered a book where you've got a character introduced that was a Tibetan motorcycle repairman reincarnated as a Coke machine.
Lord Samuel, for it is him of whom I speak, actually was having some fun with Joshua because he now more or less controls the vertical and all the rest of it. I mean, he can sort of make himself felt everywhere.
He may not be reincarnated.
No, that's not matter.
I think it was the time thing, or the fifth time, which it's called.
It's this idea, we were at a publisher's dinner party one night, and Terry obviously dug out the sort of stuff, and he thought the idea was nice. We started talking about this idea of the parallel worlds, but as they are in the book, and quite as you describe the branching multiverse, they are separate worlds. You step sideways one way, it's like our world, but no people. Step another way, a world away, and slightly different from the people. So it's like Earths, but no people in it, it's here. So I can see it in one way, it's like an imaginative response to the science of this bonkers multiverse stuff. When it comes to physicists are bad, but the cosmologists, there's a whole other kind of multiverse. Don't start with cosmologists. Worse than Jesuits,
You guys write a book together. I mean, I don't know the books we've got. It is like getting married for a bit. It's quite serious. How did you carve up, the workload between you so you didn't have spats?
Well, we had spats as we carved the workload. So see, after this first encounter with bouncing immediately off the other person.
So David, do you think there's a parallel universe out there where these two are kind of strangling each other? But also, I must say, to move between parallel worlds, you do rely on a potato. Well, I'm going to check, David, could this be like a tuber to other worlds? It's not even dignified.
I actually came up with that one. I think it was in the stuff I was doing originally. And I wanted it because I think the crystal set is one of the greatest things ever made. And every kid should build a crystal set.
Yeah, so you build a little crystal radio-like thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I used to muck around with crystal sets because you could make them punch above their weight if you knew how to do it. And actually, I think there's a schematic of it somewhere, and there is a 555 timer in there. Anyone that's ever played with electronics will know this is one of these nice sort of
So this is how you can move around.
knows that 555 timer is essential. And in fact, and so I thought, well, let's take it from there because
I'd like to say about parallel worlds, you said that the SF writer is a really new scientist, which Roger worked for many years, and he's this great idea of parallel worlds, and we've been mixing that. In fact, parallel worlds in fiction were around for the 30s. Narnia in fantasy, H.G. Wells, Door in the Wall. A man who finds a door into another world and then loses it again. And I've got this, and there's some serious SF from about 1930, 1940s, built on the idea. And I've got this fantasy of the hardest SF writer after 50 years of parallel world stories. This guy Everett comes up with this paper in 1957 again. What? Look man, we were kidding.
Conversing back to such a science fiction idea was one of the things that made it quite a slow slog for the physics community to take it seriously.
It was really attacked, wasn't it, by his peers for, I think he moved into different fields of study. But one of the things you touched on was the fact that the parallel worlds on Earth tend to be uninhabited. And that sounds very simple, but to me that was a really interesting idea, because the traditional parallel worlds thing is, it's what if the Nazis had won World War II or something like that. So there's none of that, and it allows you to explore some very big ideas to do with resources and the state of the planet.
and the nature of humanity, in fact.
Yeah. Just talk me through, was there a couple of parameters you set, and the thing about iron as well, you couldn't move iron between parallel worlds. Just talk me through what you're thinking about.
To make it, first of all, this is sort of unforeseen plot circumstances. In other words, I thought they might be necessary, and I don't know yet whether they will be necessary. Or if they were, then something aren't. That you couldn't go into the long Earth with a gun. Actually, I found out scientifically you can make guns that would really kill you without dying. So
It might be too easy.
but don't be too easy.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the vomiting. There has to be a cost. And that gave me, that made us make Joshua a special kind of person. So
Natural stepper.
and there are, and there are other natural steppers, but they don't realise. But again, this is not a particularly new thing.
But you asked me about resources, though. It's like all that stuff is about the ages you've been in, basically. And what we're facing now, a resource constrained world with the oil's running out, the water's running out in some areas. So what if you could just step aside into a world as rich as it was before humans came along?
many sequels coming after it. So if you get how many more are there in the pipeline, do you think?
Well, we're working on book 2 as we speak, aren't we? I think at least one seems necessary for research.
Well, certainly yes, and the one with the second one starts a little while after the end of the first, just to move us to see what happened next, but not too far.
Yeah.
I think Steve thinks at some time there would have to be a very far future one. And then we want to get the word big out in it.
I think what you said about the sort of richness of the idea, since it's Terry's idea, I can pick it up front without grace.
But that is a national treasure.
What Alice did that, it's really breathing. No, I think it's a good SF idea. It's really simple and you can express it in phrase.
But we know that an idea is just an idea. Someone comes up with it, someone else can come up with that idea.
Yeah, but then it's the implication. If you've got a library full of implications,